This is part 4 of Extramarital Affairs, and it is my hope that you have enjoyed part 1, 2, and 3. So now, today, this one marks the final part of Extramarital Affairs, although I have not exhausted the courses of Extramarital Affairs. I'm not going to delve into definition, but I'll just go right away to the causes of extramarital affairs. One of the reasons of extramarital affairs, there is the aspect of sickness, where one partner is sick and so they are not able to be involved in sex. So the other person is tempted to go beyond the marital bed, and then they find themselves getting involved in extramarital affairs. This is what is called the hereditary syndrome, and this has tied up with sicknesses. Then the other aspect is the aspect of common interests. You might find that you don't have much interest with your partner. You find that your interest probably is golf. Your partner doesn't love golf, has got other interests. And so now when you interact in the places like in golf or other games, you find that you are more likely to create new relationships. And these relationships will just not be casual, but they might end up into sexual affairs. And so you see, there is also the aspect of the position of privilege. And this come to, for example, when it comes to some people having different balances of power. And this, for example, when it comes to young boys and old ladies who have got money, and so they are able to sponsor them, they are able to keep them well, or the old men taking care of young girls, or the aspect of sponsorship. So this aspect of privileged position, it makes these people just also now to get engaged also in extramarital affairs. And of course, the question is, why should old men get engaged in extramarital affairs with even young girls? And this has to do with the aspect of machismo, or the aspect of manhood, where in 30s and 40s, most of the men's sexual drive, they go down. And so when they go down, the girls of less than 30s, their sexual drive is low. So men want to be massage their ego, and so they are likely now to accept these old men in exchange of favors of money, clothes, watches, and shoes from Turkey or other places. Then there is also the aspect of the house help. The house help is not supposed to do the work of your wife. There are some work which she is not supposed to do. But then you find that in certain homes, most of the men, they forget that there is a limit. And even their wives forget that there is a limit to what the house help can do. The house help doesn't have a disadvantage. Although she looks disadvantaged, she can also take over your wifely duties. So the wifely duties are not supposed to be compromised. And there are some duties which it is only you who is supposed to serve your husband. And so now when the house help becomes so available, she becomes so acceptable, very hardworking, very sympathetic to the man of the house, she is likely to overthrow the government, or rather a coup d'etat is going to take place. And so that is why in certain works I've said, even in the normal government situation, if the government overstays in power and it tends to think that they become complacent, they are likely to be overthrown either through the bullet or the ballot. And so if the wife lowers her standards, she doesn't even do her duties, the house help is likely to take over, and in the final analysis, the wife, the house help, may become the second wife or even the only wife, with the other one being divorced. And so it is very, very important for the wife to be taking care of and grooming, to be taking care of the way she keep herself, the way she dresses, the way she keep her hair. She should not think that she is indispensable, because if she lowers her standards, she is likely to be overthrown. She should also ask herself what attracted the man when they first dated, or now when the man proposed to her that he wants to get married to her. So it is very important for women not to lower their standards. Then there is the aspect of the nice girl, whereby the ladies might feel sympathetic to a man when the man shares their stories, how they are mistreated, how they are handled badly by their wives. So on the process of feeling sorry, they are likely to fall into extramarital affairs. Then there is the aspect of the Cinderella syndrome. This is the case where a man and a woman, they were friends, but then along the way, probably they were students, probably they were living in the same geographical place, and then one went on a transfer, or even they were in the university, they parted, and when they parted, both of them, they were in a very good relationship, and each of them left being very innocent. They were Cinderella. They embodied all the virtues, the beauty, and all what any man or woman could dream. So if they happen to meet again, since each had left being an angel, being a Cinderella, they are likely to fall into temptation of extramarital affairs. Then there is also the aspect of adventure. Some men or women, they want to do adventure. They want to find a change. They want to check. They want to see if at all there is any difference, becoming filled with the stories from their colleagues and from their peers that women are not all the same. The women are not the same, and they also be tempted that you cannot be feeding on the same diet. You have to be feeding on balanced diet. And so they are likely to fall into such a problem. So they get into that aspect of extramarital affairs because of adventure, because of novelty. They want a new thing. And then there's also the aspect of scholarship and other benefits, parents, jobs, getting abroad. This can also be traded for sex, and they can explain the aspect of extramarital affairs. Then in certain areas, there is the aspect of the maid swapping. This is now where couples can agree to exchange their wives. They exchange their wives or their husbands, but for a short time. And this is a phenomenon which is so common in the Western world, but it is easily encroaching our Kenyan society. And so some of these couples, they argue that it is better for you to exchange and even working on a point of knowledge. But then, many times, this maid swapping can develop to strong bond, and then it can cause problem in marriage. Then there is the aspect of the sexual problems. A couple might be experiencing sexual problems, and so they may be out to solve their problem with other ladies when they have got discouraging moments at home. And so they are pushed out. There is the pushing out factors and the pull factors of being welcomed by other ladies. And then there is the aspect of better man, or where the men feel they want to express that they are alpha men, they are strong men, they can be able to conquer. They can conquer any man, any woman, and so they go out to prove about the alpha men. And then another aspect is the aspect of anger. You are annoyed with your wife, you are annoyed with your husband, and so you move out in your spur of moments, and then you end up getting involved in extramarital affairs because of anger and bad news. And so now, what am I trying to show? What am I trying to explain here? I'm trying also to explain that there are some also men and women who have got excessive sexual urges, and these are what we call, they come to ladies, we call them nymphomaniacs, and women they are called satyassis. And so now, when because they cannot be satisfied, they move out in search of nymphomaniacs, or in search of satyassis. Now, in conclusion, what am I trying to say? In both part 1, 2, 3, and 4, it is showing that the sexual aspect has got multiple causes, and so it requires the unpackaging of the real problems. And that is why it is also advisable, if you are not able to have friends or close people whom can be able to really sort out your issue, you can go to a counselor or a family therapist who can unpackage your problem. Now, the aspect of extramarital affairs is so broad, is so wide, I cannot be able to tackle it in such sessions. And I am going to encourage you to sorry for that break. I would encourage you to read a book called Strong in the Storm, which I've written based on my counseling sessions for a number of years and based on life issues. I have delved into the anatomy of extramarital affairs, and in this book I've given the solutions which if you follow, you can be able to understand this subject of extramarital affairs more. I would encourage you to follow my past, or even my past videos, which are in my YouTube, A Moment with Rukwaru, and you will be enlightened more. Thank you very much. I would encourage you, if you have not subscribed, subscribe so that you will be alerted when my video is out. And if the family issues are matters of concern on general social issues, then this YouTube, A Moment with Rukwaru, is a channel you cannot afford to miss. Thank you very much.